quick video is going to share with you ways to clean your formatting out of your text. So let's get started. The first thing that I'd like to do is I'm going to get myself a new blank Word document. I'll select File and New, and I'm just going to choose Blank Document. When I go to this new blank document in Word, if I needed text on there, I could say equals RAND for random text, do an open and close parenthesis and hit enter, and instantly I've got some text to work with. Well, that should be an indicator for me that there's coding in Microsoft Office, and there in fact is. So I want to share with you in this video today about copying and pasting text from your Word documents and copying and pasting text from the internet. How do you clean that out? How do you clear it up? And how do you get it looking great? Have you ever entered your house knowing that someone had just spring cleaned, and while you can't really see it, you could just feel it? You really want your online classes to have that same feeling. Now, you may not be able to see all of this, but you want to know that your class is clean. You want to know that your text is clean and that you don't have additional coding placed into your course. And the way to do that is to clean your formatting from your content when you add it into your class. So, I'm going to go into a Blackboard class now. This is just a random class that I have here. And, I'm going to start creating this class. And it could be, I'm going to click in my assignments, and it could be that maybe I already have content that I would like to place in here into my course from Word documents, because I've been teaching this class for a while, and so I've got some content in Word documents, and I'd like to place those in there. And guess what? Someone told me if I place a Word document in there, it's got to be ADA compliant. And maybe I'm a little conflicted over ADA compliance. Maybe I'm not sure I'm doing it 100% correctly. So I think, well, this is what I'll do. I'll copy and paste my text into my assignments area. Okay, I'm just going to select Build Content and add an item in here. And let's say that this content here on this Word document that I have is the content that I would like placed into the course. Okay, so sometimes what we'll do is we'll go into our Word document, maybe select the text. I did a Control A there, it selected everything. Control A will select everything, all. And so I selected it, and now I'm going to do a Control C for copy. So I have copied the text in my Word document, and now I'm going to put this as an item into my assignments by doing Control V. All right, so it takes the formatting with it, and I can see here, and maybe it looks great. Sometimes when you do this, though, what it will do is it keeps the formatting, and the more you try to work with it by using left align or right align or center align or backspace or take out the space, it just does not want to work for you. Now, it depends on what kind of formatting is in there, but sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't. Now, I'm looking at this text right here, and I'm thinking that's not a whole lot of text right there. All right, but can I share something with you? If I were to look at the coding of this text, all right, and we're not going to go big time into coding, but let's take a look at the HTML code of this text right here. This is what a reader would read. So why do we need to spring clean our house? Why do we need to spring clean our course? Why do we need to have clean text? Because the reader reads all of this, and don't you want your users who use a reader to have clean text instead of sorting through all of the coding? So I'm going to click this button here, which is the HTML code view. When I select that, you can see that it is significantly longer than the actual text. And you don't have to know a lot about HTML to start to pick up on certain things that, this icon here, maybe that means a new line, because I could see here's a blank line, and then here's another new line, and then here might be a blank line, but then some of them have forward slashes and backward slashes, and like I said, we're not going to go into all of that. But what I'd like to share with you is look at all of the coding that's in here. You've copied all of that coding into this text, and the reality is it should not be there because a reader will read all of it. I'm going to click on cancel and come on out of there. And then what I'm going to do is show you the best way to do this. I'm going to select undo, undo, and take that text out of my content area. Now, if you add your text this way, it will clean it and clear it all out of all the formatting, and then you place your formatting in there. I'll select this HTML. And I'm going to paste my text into the HTML even though I'm not writing HTML. Control V for Velcro. And now I'll say update, and it's cleared everything out. Now, for some of you, you might think, well, geez, I hate that because it takes out all the formatting I needed. Well, I hate that for you too, but let's get real. All that formatting that was in there is going to clog up the reader. And so someone who is using a reader would be at a significant disadvantage. And we want to do the right thing. So what I would do here is now use the formatting that's available to me that's in the Blackboard software. Okay? So I would come in here. I could do an enter or a shift enter, or I can make it single spaced or double spaced, whatever it is that I need to do. So I would come in here and take this clean text and reformat it based off of, oops, no, I don't want that one like that. Reformat it based off of the formatting that's available in Blackboard and not the formatting that's copied from Microsoft Office. And I've got all this clean text here, and then I can decide, how to format it in here. Now, this may not be the same formatting I had before, but can we take a look at the HTML now? Oh my goodness, that's a significant difference. That's more than 1/3 of the size that we had it previously. So what would have happened if a reader would have read that previously? It reads all of the coding placed in there. So here's the trick. If you're going to add text from a Word document, let me say cancel out of here, and build an item into your course, please do not just copy and paste it in. Make sure that you have done spring cleaning in your course. It really doesn't take that much longer. So what you do is you click on the HTML button, you paste your content into the HTML button, tell it to update. It clears out all of the formatting for you. Now you can reformat it using the Blackboard items. All right, now let me mention this to you. You may have heard about this button here, okay? I'm going to say undo and take this out of here. Or let me just delete it. Delete. Let me look at my coding. All right, I've got nothing in there. Nothing's in my coding. All right, now maybe you've heard of this button. I'm going to paste it in with the formatting. Then I'm going to select it. Control A, Control All, select all. And I'm going to look at this button here. This button here says remove formatting. And while it can remove some formatting, it does not spring clean. You see I still have got double spacing in there. I still have some formatting that's left. So if I look at my HTML, even though I use the clear formatting button, there's still an awful lot of formatting in there. Okay? So I'm not saying that this does not work. I'm just saying it doesn't clear all of your formatting. It leaves a lot of it in there. So even though you do have this clear formatting button, it does not clear everything. So you really do want to use this HTML button. Copy and paste your text into there. Allow it to scrub out all of your coding. And now put your formatting back in using the Blackboard buttons. All right, cool deal. Now, there are other ways to do this, and you may have learned some of these tricks. So before we had this HTML button or used it or even knew what some of it was, for some of us, we were using this trick here. This is using Notepad because Notepad has no formatting. It will for sure clear your formatting. So if I were to paste my text into my Notepad, I could then Control A and Control C to copy it out. That will also clear my formatting. If I were to take that text and paste it in, it's going to take almost all of the formatting out of there. It doesn't look that much different from what I had in the top of my content area. So the only thing it left was a little bit of spacing. So using Notepad to strip things down is also a pretty good use. But I'm going to ask you, if you would please, when you're copying and pasting your text, just use this HTML right here. Paste it right in there. You can see that I've got a very small amount. This is my second paste down here. There's a very small amount of coding that's left in there when you use the Notepad, but there is a little bit left in there. All right, it does the same thing whenever you're copying and pasting from the internet. Okay, I'm going to delete all of this out of here. Let's say that I would like to place some content into my item from the internet. So I've got an article here, and this article is called How Your Kids Can Ruin Your Retirement and How to Make Sure They Don't. Well, that's a bold statement. All right, so maybe I'd like to take this title and put it up here in my title area, copy and paste it in. And then I might decide that I'd like to take this text down here and copy and paste that in also. All right. So I'm getting away from myself. Hold on. All right, let's stop there. I'm going to copy this here. It may not allow me to because I got a little bit too much in there. So let's see what happens. I've got it copied. I'm going to come over here and paste it in. All right. Now, I've got my images and stuff in there, but it also took some other things in there off the sidebar. I really didn't want to take that. But if I look at my HTML, there's going to be a ton of HTML back here. This whole area from here to here is all coding. That's not text. So a reader would read every bit of that to a user. Every bit of it. What if you were blind and you had to depend on a reader? It's going to read all of that there to the user. So let's do this. Instead of doing that, let's take it out of there. Let's click into our HTML. Let's paste it into our HTML. Update it that way. We've got no coding left in here at all. Now I can go in here and separate out my paragraphs, and I've got just what I need in my content area. So if you have copied and pasted in the past, and you have come up with some coding in there and it's driving you nuts, maybe, and wait, this is the real kicker, sometimes you look at it in this view, and then once you submit it, it will actually have a different view. And then to top it all off, when the students look at it, it has spacing in completely different views. So you always want to check it, check your views, and then always come up here and click under your student view and double check it again. Sometimes you'll notice that things are triple spaced or quadruple spaced or, spaced in all these different ways. I'm going to click here on my assignments button because that's where I was a minute ago. That's where I had posted that item. And so there's no formatting in there, so it doesn't have any crazy spacing, but always check that as well. So if you've got some crazy spacing in there, one of the things that you'll want to do is check your HTML, check your coding. All right. Notice too in the student view I've only got a few buttons over there, but in the instructor view I've got quite a few buttons. That's because you see these little icons, these little squares. That means my buttons are empty. If my buttons are empty, they won't be showed to the user as the student view. Okay, so I hope that's helpful to you guys. I will mention this too. You may have seen this same button here in Microsoft Office Word. If you're on your Home tab, in your font grouping, you've got this button that says Clear All Formatting. But I promise you, even in your Word file, if you clear all the formatting and then copy and paste it into your Blackboard environment, it will still have coding in it because Microsoft Office Word has coding. All right, so hopefully this will help you guys with spring cleaning, making sure that your text is clean when you add it into your course. I hope this is helpful. Have a great day.